It's not tasty food that keeps you healthy. It is good food. Very simple food keeps you healthier than sometimes a lot of tasty food which adds so many things which is bad for your health. A lot of restaurant food has got added things in it which may make it more tasty, but it's not good for your health. My wife and I hardly ever eat any restaurant food. God has kept us healthy. I don't want to live a long life because I love life on this earth. Not at all. But I want to live a long, healthy life because I want to be useful to the Lord. And I don't want to shorten that life by some lust in my own heart for food. That is an important thing, sister. We haven't spoken, brothers, sisters, because we haven't spoken much about eating habits. But I want to mention something now that I'm on that subject. Please turn to Philippians 3:18 and 19. Paul says, many people walk, of whom I've often told you. First of all, he says in verse 17, look at me. Philippians 3:17, be a follower of me. And mark all those others who are walking like I'm walking. I'm not the only one. And make us your example. Because in contrast to the way I'm walking, Paul says, there are some others who are walking another way. And he says, I'm not criticizing them. I'm weeping while I'm writing this letter. Boy, what compassion that man had. That he's writing a letter and he's weeping because he feels that these Christians may not take seriously what I'm saying. What a heart he had for God's people. That as he wrote, I can imagine the tears falling on the paper and the ink spreading because tears are falling on that ink. Amazing man. He said, I'm telling you something and I'm telling you weeping that some people are enemies of the cross of Christ. And who are these enemies? Not people who are going around attacking Christians, not the non-Christians who attack Christians, but Christians, verse 19, whose God is their belly. Who are the enemies of the cross of Christ? Read verse 18 and 19 together. A man whose God is his stomach is an enemy of the cross of Christ. And they mind earthly things. So he said, even in a simple thing like eating and drinking, be disciplined. And don't make your stomach your God. Because those are the people who clash with their wives saying, the food is not tasty enough or not good enough. And it says, if God is your belly, verse 19, then your end is destruction and you're minding earthly things. So there are many things we have to repent of. Repent means turning away from something displeasing to God. So even in the matter of discipline of our eating habits, we have to be careful that we don't make our stomach our God. Many people don't think of that as idolatry. You see somebody else bowing down before some idol made of brass or stone and say, look at those blind people. What about a brother in CFC or a sister here who is so crazy about good food that they get upset with their wife when someday the food is not up to the mark or there's not variety in all the things that the wife cooks? I say that person is just as much as an idolater as the other person bowing down to those bronze and silver gods. Whereas here it doesn't look like an idolatry, but it is. Whose God is their stomach, we read.